Well, normally I would be doing all welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna skip that for now. So yesterday I saw a video on YouTube. This young man in Texas was barred from school, barred from public school because his hair was braided. This school in Texas has a policy that you can't have braids. Juju lady, I'm gonna let you speak on that first. And I got something to say.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it pisses me off that in 2022, Black people are still not allowed to be Black people. How are we being persecuted for the way that the hair comes out of our heads? This particular instance cannot be described any other way, and I'm trying to be calm because this really upsets me. Cannot be described any other way than anti-Black. This is anti-Black. There's no other way around it. No other race of people wear their hair in this manner. It's not their culture. It's not their history. Braids in our history have gone back to before slavery, because unfortunately people like to forget that Black people were here before slavery. So I'll just say, when the Moors took those beings out of the Caucasus Mountains, they had braids. Braids have been around since then. And we are in 2022 and our children are being, it affects their self-esteem, it affects their self-worth, and it makes them ashamed of who they are. I can't wear my hair the way that it comes out of my head because it's not good enough. It isn't white enough. I'm not polished enough. And I think that there is something to be said that this is acceptable. I don't even understand how this is acceptable as a policy.
Well, it makes me I'm gonna start here. So people want us to believe that we live in a Christian nation. People want us to believe that America was founded on Christianity. They want us to believe that. Well, how can we believe that when we have to ask permission for us to wear our hair in the way we've been wearing it since our existence on earth?
Right.
You are you're telling me that in Texas, I, a black kid can't go to school because his hair is braided? I mean, what? That does not make any sense. And if it's not racist, I want somebody to explain that to me. But
I'd like to see him try.
and one more thing about the kids. For the last, I don't know, about 4 months, I've been seeing videos of teenagers in school and sports getting their hair cut,
Hmm.
getting
Yeah.
their beads cut out.
Mm-hmm.
There's this gentleman that he's a wrestler. He left his school, went to another school to wrestle. That school told him that if he want to wrestle here, he got to cut his dreads out. So that kid left his house to go on a school function. And when he got back to school, he didn't have no dreadlocks. And we, this Christian nation that we live in, you trying to tell me, where are you? Where are you that you're going to allow black kids to have to cut their hair to wrestle? It's not even a job. They don't get paid for that. That is called extra curriculum.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. And you're talking about this is a job they don't get paid for, but the school does. They get
They do.
endorsements.
They
They
do.
get money for tickets for these Black children who are very athletic. And then you want to dictate how they wear their hair and what they're doing.
You
Is
know,
anybody stopping these little kids with mohawks going to school?
wait a minute. I got something even better than that. A few years ago, as you know, I had some trouble with DSS. I had cut my son's hair. My son had a big old afro, and I felt like he loved his afro more than anything else. I regret that I cut it, but I cut it. DSS tried to tell me, insisted, and I even got a piece of paper around here where they said that cutting his hair was child abuse. I cut my son's hair in our kitchen. Nobody
Uh-huh.
saw it.
No public
And,
humiliation at a
and they're
game
gonna tell
or a track
me,
meet.
and this young boy, the wrestler I'm talking about, they cut his hair in the gym.
I saw it. Yeah.
In
In
the
front of
gym.
everybody.
If you're gonna make him cut his hair, at least go in the back. You're really gonna cut that young man's hair in front of everybody?
And to think that you have so much power and what and in your white privilege to not even discuss that decision with his parents. What I wish, man, look, I
Okay.
wish my child would come home without the hair I sent them to school with. I, I wish they would.
Um, Christians, I'm talking to you right now. Christians, if you believe this is a Christian nation, you gotta know that this is wrong. I don't care if you're not black. I don't care if you don't have dreads or braids. Do you think it's fair that this country is going to actually stop people from wearing their hair in natural ways? We're not talking about spikes, mohawks, pink hair, green hair. We're talking about braids, cornrows, and locks. But just in case that ain't enough, I thought that I go one step further. So I think it was in March, the Crown Act passed in the House.
Yeah.
The bad thing about the Crown Act passed is the fact that there was the need for the Crown Act.
Correct.
It is as if black people are saying, hey, Christian country, can we please wear our hair how we want? Please. I mean, we want our locks, and can we please have braids?
Can I celebrate my 4C hair?
We
You know,
we gotta have a Crown Act so that it is legal to wear your hair in a natural style in America. And you're gonna tell me that this is a Christian nation.
well, your Christian nation is definitely not accepting people for who they are and who we are made to be. Um, as a black woman that's had locks for 17 years, 17, and I started my locks in a time where it was not widely accepted in corporate America, and I worked in corporate America. And I had to adjust for that period of time. And it made me feel a little ashamed that I had to hide my hair. I had to wrap my hair. Hell, I even had to tell a particular company that I was Muslim so that I could have my hair and wear a hijab, just so I can have a job. I've had to lie. And it got to a certain point where I accepted that certain roles I would not have certain positions not because I wasn't qualified, not because I wasn't educated enough, because I'm very well educated. I have 2 degrees and I'm completing my master's degree. And I'm very well educated, but it was because I was too ethnic. And here in the South, they don't mind telling you that. I've been told that several times. I'm too ethnic, or I just don't fit the mold. So
It's
as an adult that was messed up, what are y'all doing to our children? What are y'all doing to our kids? I just don't understand how people, that is abuse. It's mental and emotional abuse at the hands of public schools. I just,
public. That that school was public in Texas. That's a public school. They, they can't have braids in a public school.
so Black folks, let me tell y'all something. The schools with these policies that are public schools, you are paying for them to tell you you can't have, your babies can't have their hair as it comes out of their head. You are paying to, that's what you're paying them for. Your tax dollars are paying these teachers, are paying these principals, are paying these school boards, making these policies and procedures. And I mean, hell, it's 2022. I ain't even saying fight it back. I'm saying pull your children out of school. Pull them. If you are able to, pull them out of school and homeschool. Let them make that money off of somebody else. They get paid for each child that goes to that school. They get paid for each child they promote. And they damn sure, if your child is playing sports, they damn sure making ticket dollars off of your baby, and you ain't getting none of that shit.
Especially when they win them championships. You know what?
In the gym shaming that boy. They ought to be ashaming themselves. And I know they ain't.
When
Slack bastards.
there's a video, there's a video on YouTube when they was voting on the Crown Act, and Lauren Lauren Boebert, she said, "I voted no on the Bad Hair Act."
Yep.
She actually said, "I voted no on the Bad Hair Act."
But I
And I
bet you.
and I want you to know, before viewers, before you think that that don't mean nothing, I want to explain something to you. In the Crown Act, there's only natural hairstyles: afro, locks, braids, cornrows. That's it. That is a natural thing. And Lauren Boebert, she thinks it's a bad hair act.
It's
What's bad about it is that Black people gotta come to this country and ask permission to wear their hair they want to be. That's the bad hair.
and if it's so bad, stop appropriating our culture. If I see one more white woman with braids, cornrows, you ready to appropriate our culture, but it's a bad hair act. And I
Natural
guarantee,
hair.
you know
It's
what?
natural hair though.
I'm so
How's it?
glad.
I mean, it'd be different if we were talking about spikes, green hair, or all the other crazy stuff going on. We're talking about natural hair. We're talking about braided hair. Come on.
You know,
How can that be right? How can anybody in the world defend that?
I
As a
bet a
matter of
husband.
fact, please hit me up on the comments. Um, the King Servant blog at gmail.com. Hit me up, because I believe this is America showing its racism. Period. It's going from top to bottom.
And it's
Top
not
to
just
bottom.
racism, because America, the society and the system is racism in itself. Systemic racism. This right here is
I'm used
disdain and hatred
I'm
for
used to
Black
the
people.
racism. I can handle the
Right. I
racism,
can handle
but
that.
I
But
can't
this right
have my
here,
hair. Hair?
you ain't got to like me, but what you want me to be? You.
I mean, okay, so what? You're gonna stop me when I'm driving because I'm Black and in a white neighborhood. Cool. I'm cool with that. But you're trying to tell me my kids can't go to school with dreadlocks? My kids can't go to school with braids? Come on.
And mine won't be showing up to nobody's school because they all got locks. And I have locks. And they're beautiful and they're natural. and they represent something, they have a meaning. And, you know, I was talking to this older woman one time, and an older Black lady, and we called her mother. And we were talking about the appropriation of Black culture, how everybody wants to take away from Black culture, but they never want to recognize, they never want to acknowledge Black people. And you don't like Black people, and you're okay with the injustice done to Black people, but you want to take everything we have. You don't have an original thought anywhere. And that's for everybody outside of Black people. And that I said it. Okay. And she said, people without a culture, without meaning, will always dig deep into a culture with meaning and substance, full of soul, full of life, and full of love. And they have attacked that culture, and they are personally attacking our children. That child hopefully has parents that are building in him a sense of self-love for who he is. However, there are children that don't have that. There are children that don't have that. What are they going through? Because if you can publicly tell my child that he can't have his hair the way it naturally comes out of his head, what are you saying behind closed doors to my
What
children?
else? What else?
What else is okay?
Or what's next?
What else?
What's next?
And what else?
What's the
And yeah,
next
what's
move?
next is going to be acceptable.
What's gonna be okay? Christians, what's gonna be okay? What's next? That we gotta have a crown at so we can legally have our hair the way we want. To run
Right.
around cutting daggone Black kids' hair at public places. What are you gonna do to us next? Besides tell us there's no such thing as systematic racism. I ain't seen not one white child get his hair cut at a daggone sporting arena. I ain't seen one child yet couldn't have that hairdo. I ain't seen one white child get stopped at the pool and asked where your mama at.
And while we talking about it, let's talk about it. Let's dig in on it. Okay. Um, can we add to this policy the little white girls with the tracks in their hair? Because that's Black people shit. Can we add to that? Can they not go to school with that in their hair? Can they not go to school with braids in their hair? Can they not go to school with different color hair? What about the
You know
bleach
what?
blondes? Can we ban them heifers? What can we do?
I should have did a little bit of research for the school in Texas because I do know that the rule says no braided hair, but
Mhm.
I'm wondering since you got such a stupid rule, I'm wondering is white hair and black hair being braided classified as the same? Because I know in high school, all the white female athletes would
Oh, they had a hair
braid their
braided.
hair.
I
So
know.
what are them baseball players doing with their hair if they can't braid it? What else? What are
What
they
the
doing?
basketball players doing? Because them was the main ones.
So I'm gonna have to do a
I
little
mean,
research. But
they make it seem like we ain't never been to high school before.
you know,
What y'all white lesbians doing? Because we know they don't like their hair. Are they allowed to have short haircuts?
it just
I mean, I'm
doesn't.
asking an honest question.
It. I don't. Unfortunately, I can't answer because after I figured out that this young man couldn't go to public school, I didn't really want to know anything. And his mama is now have to homeschool him and his two sisters. He got two younger sisters also, and they all getting homeschooled because they can't have breed in a
Mhm.
public school. A public school?
If it's possible, like why would I send my children to your school and they can't be Black? Because that's what you're telling them. Period. I don't care what nobody say. Christian, not Christian, you're a damn dummy if you think that this is about anything other than a child being Black. This is what that is. You are attacking their Blackness. You are anti-Black.
And
Please explain it to me any other way. I need somebody to explain it to me any other way.
please
How
hit me
this
up in the
affects anybody
comments.
besides Black people.
Please email me. Please, please hit me up on Facebook. Anybody that can explain this to me, I would love it because I'm telling you what. The God in me is infuriated. The God in me is mad as hell because this is not right. This is not right.
Mm-mm.
It is not right. Not right at all. There is no way that anybody can explain this in a good manner. Y'all need to stop this stuff. And everybody that don't know about it, you need to call up your schools, call up your congressmen, and quit letting them fear monger the world. And please let us black people live here. We built this place with you, for you, however you want to put it, but you didn't do it alone. This is our country. We got to share this thing.
You didn't do it at all. I'm gonna be real with you. It was off the blood, sweat, and tears of my ancestors, Mr. Christian folks,
It don't
Mr.
make no sense.
Christians, ma'am, Madam Christians.
I don't understand how this could be okay. I don't understand how these people that's running around professing to do God's work, Christian country, um, and and we gotta beg for permission to wear our hair natural. I mean, come on. That's I can't even talk about it
I tell you what, if you live in Texas and you have kids in public school, please reach out and let us know, what are y'all doing about this?
no more.
What's being done? What has been done? I mean,
How many other people have been affected by this? Or are you trying to tell me that they have found a county in Texas where black people walk around bald head? I mean, because I had never been there except
me
for
either.
prison. Prison, the only place I've been around a whole lot of black men with bald heads.
Know how we feel about our hair. We might cutting this mess off. Um, and this is another thing, and I
Only
really
got a
want
minute.
to put this here. If this is okay for Texas, what else is going on in Texas? What's going on? I like to know. I really would. You know.
Juju lady, please tell everybody where they can find me because I couldn't do it in the beginning. So
Okay. So hello, Juju Lady here. And you can find me at thejujuhole.com. Come shop my store, come have a gander, look around. And I'm on Facebook at The Juju Hole, IG, TikTok. Come holler at me. And I'm open for discussions as well.
I unfortunately or fortunately I'm posting this in the morning on my blog, kingservantblog.com. Like I said, if you got comments, please hit me up. I'm looking for some interaction because there's got to be somebody out there that can explain this to me, and I'm definitely willing to listen to. I don't know if there's a good explanation at all, but I'm willing to see what you got. The kingservantblog.com. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.